hot take. I really don't believe in low maintenance friendships. Hi everyone, welcome to Tia Podcast. Today I am back with Nat and we are going to talk about our personality.
Wow.
Okay, so specifically introversion and extroversion. Right? I think like most people have done their MBTI test.
Yeah.
I heard from a lot of people that MBTI is very inaccurate.
Yeah. I mean, I've done my own share of like reading, and like in corporate workplaces, they like to like analyze people based off their MBTI and then assign them roles because of that. So I see my fair share of skepticism. Yeah.
Okay, but I thought it would still be interesting. So the only thing we're going to look at, okay, not maybe, the thing we're going to focus on today is specifically extrovert and introvert. Yeah. I think because most people don't really care about the rest. To be honest, I really, okay, I don't think people take it very seriously. The rest, usually people only discuss the E and I because that's the only thing that is like very obvious.
Yeah. I think that's the one that people definitely can like notice the most. But okay lah, I mean, there are definitely people that take it very, very seriously, but maybe we won't go into that.
Yeah. Okay, so today I think it's very interesting and I specifically asked Nat to do this episode because I'm super extroverted.
And I'm like super introverted.
Yeah, so today we're going to share our scores from today, our percentages based on the 16 personalities test and also our scores from years ago and then see how that goes. Okay, so you want to share yours first?
Okay, so actually from the last time that I took the MBTI test, it was maybe like when I was 16 years old, so that's more than a decade ago. And back then I was still an INTJ, which yesterday when I took the test, I also scored as an INTJ. But back then my introversion score was around like 90-ish%. And yesterday when I tried it again, I was quite surprised because it was around like 60-ish. So I think like definitely one of the things about MBTI is that how you score on the test changes on a day-to-day basis, but definitely over time as your personality develops, I think it's quite natural for people to perceive themselves differently as well. So I think one of the main changes for me is that I start to see myself as less of an introverted person than I used to be. Yeah.
Okay, for me, right, 5 years ago and now, so I have my 2018 test. My 2018 test, I was 97% extroverted. And 2018, we were in poly? No, or uni? Oh, no. Uni already.
Yeah, uni, yeah.
Yeah, I think at that time, like, I love going out with my friends. So I think a lot of my answers were, I definitely don't think I'm 97% extroverted. But I think it's very obvious that I am way more extroverted than I am introverted.
Yeah.
And so I just took the test before this filming. I am 80% extroverted, 82% extroverted. So, okay, I think it's important for us first to talk about what does it mean to be introverted and extroverted, because I realized, right, everybody got very different definitions.
I mean, for my own personal take on it, okay, of course we recognize that not humans aren't so like black and white, right? No one's like a strict introvert or a strict extrovert. Even if you're like very heavily leaning to one side, you probably still, even if I'm like a super introverted person, I still enjoy people's company and things like that, right? So from my understanding of what an introvert is and what I agree with is that generally I would feel recharged when I'm by myself. So if I'm in a social situation, I can still enjoy myself, still enjoy the company of people, but I'll probably feel like quite exhausted at the end of it. So like socially exhausted. Then I need to go home, play some video games, watch some YouTube videos, that kind of thing, in order to recharge my social battery lah.
Okay. So I think your definition is very close to the one that I have here, and this is from Simply Psychology. An introvert can be defined as someone who gets their energy from being in their own company, having time to recharge on their own. And someone who is introvert may appear to be withdrawn and shy, although this may not always be the case. And I think this is something that people get mixed up. That an introvert is
someone who's shy.
I think it's the opposite. They think that extroverted people are not shy.
Yeah.
Introverted people being shy is like, okay, yeah. When you look at someone shy, you're kind of like, seems like it. Okay, so an extrovert is someone who gets their energy from being around other people. Someone who is extroverted may appear very talkative and may be popular among peers.
Okay, so the interesting thing is that I find that when I meet new groups of people, I tend to be a bit awkward. Like I don't really enjoy like meeting new groups of people, right? But I try to like stave off that awkwardness by holding a conversation with people. Like you charge head first into the problem. So then I end up coming across as quite like a warm and friendly person to a lot of new people that I meet. And then when I tell them that, oh, actually, I'm quite an introverted person, I don't really enjoy meeting new people and things like that, they get quite shocked. So I think that, like you mentioned, it's a bit of a misconception, right? Where I don't think I really come off as shy to most people, especially like in smaller group settings where I can be a bit more comfortable. But I definitely still consider myself an
I
introvert.
would have never guessed that you are 90% introverted.
Yeah, even back then, right?
I think, if I remember correctly, right, when we first met in poly, during our orientation day, you are the one who talked to us first.
Oh,
Okay,
I don't remember, but yeah.
I think because on that day I already knew someone from our class,
Okay.
right? So I had that person to talk to, but you are the one who like started talking to us. Yeah, so I would never have thought.
Oh,
that,
it was you and Tao Liang.
Yeah, it was me and Ali. Yeah, but yeah, it's just it's not something that I would have thought that you are. So I think for me, right,
Yeah.
for a long time, I am quite shy. Honestly, quite shy. And people think that, oh, I have a very easy time making friends. I have a very easy time like meeting new people. Where actually for a very long time I felt like very awkward, and I don't think that actually has anything to do with my extroversion. It has more to do with self-confidence.
Yeah.
And I think for many years, yeah, it was like, oh, I feel like, okay, like teenage years, you feel like, wow, everybody's judging you, which they are. And right up to, poly, I had like a terrible time in poly. So all of that really will affect like the way that I meet new people. So in spite of that, I love hanging around my friends. Yeah.
It's like the selected group of people that you're comfortable with, and then that's the one that you really enjoyed hanging around.
But as I grow older and I got more confidence in myself, it really expanded to everybody.
I mean, a bit of a segue, but where do you feel was the turning point for you in like becoming more outspoken? Like after poly towards uni?
Not in uni. I think it was after. I really think it was after I came back from UK, which is very recent. It wasn't even in UK. It was after I came back from UK that I started to have a lot more confidence. But I think that's just like an aging thing lah. I really think it's like, oh, okay, like you reach a certain age. Okay, so I think it's very funny because I see my traits, right, in some of the people I know today, like how self-conscious they are. Because even though, it's something that because I went through it, right, when I look at other people who appear very extroverted,
You can recognize that.
yeah, but I can kind of tell like, oh, they're like not very confident in the way that they are when they talk to new people, that kind of thing. Like I can kind of recognize that.
Oh my god! I mean, imagine if you could have like seen 17-year-old me with the lens of your current self, and you see how unconfident I was at that point in time also.
Speaking about that,
Yeah.
do you think that it can be trained? Okay, so funny thing, right? During COVID, a lot of people's introversion and extroversion changed a lot.
Because of COVID, you feel like people became more introverted because of COVID.
Yes. A lot of people, okay, so during COVID, a lot of people said that they became way more introverted. Me too. I went and do this test during COVID, right? I remember my introvert became higher than my extrovert. Which was damn ridiculous. Yeah, which I think it's like the... I don't know. I really don't know what happened during COVID.
You know what this is? This is people realize how shock it is to be able to know at home and have no one judge them. Okay.
Oh yeah. Maybe I'm just secretly an introvert.
Yeah.
No, but it's the way I reacted during that time. Okay, so like during COVID, right, I think the true introverts, right, were at home like popping champagne, right?
That's right.
But the extroverts were just dying, and I just knew that I was an extrovert because I became super irritable, very angry. Every time I was like, oh my god, the world is ending. I can't believe we are like trapped at home. Like, I really, really, really felt like I was alone in this big world, oh shit. And I think during that time, right, I felt like because everybody was at home, I didn't have a chance to meet my friends, and everybody, especially because most of my friends are introverts or self-identify as introverts, everybody was just doing their own thing.
They're happy doing it, yeah.
Yeah, and so I kind of felt like, wow, I got no friends. I got no friends. I feel so alone in this world. No, okay. I think, and I don't know if I'm sure that this is just me.
I mean, there are other extroverts as well.
I think it's a very extrovert thing
to feel that
this way.
Yeah.
To suddenly feel like, oh
where's
my gosh.
all the people?
Yeah, so when I think when then I did the MBTI, right, it was because my mind was really damn warped.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of affected me, right? Even when I left to go to UK and started to meet people, I really think that it did affect the way that I interacted with people.
Maybe you became a bit more like timid or something at first before you started to get comfortable again.
Yeah, then I found myself, even in UK, right, I always wanted to go home.
But it's me all the time. Okay,
yeah, that's why I don't know why. It's not something that I would be now, like how I am. How many years has it been since COVID? Okay lah, should count how many years been since
2019 lah. So let's just say 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, so like 3 years later, I find like I love hanging out with my friends.
Yeah.
I like going out. You know, I'm not the type to like, I just want to stay at home. Every time I want to stay at home. It's just not me lah. So I just find that during that period was like just something wrong.
Yeah, and then conversely, I was like celebrating my room. I was like, yes, this is the best shit that ever happened. Yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah. Going back on like the idea of can these kind of things be? I don't know. You used the word trained, was it? Or yeah lah. I just think that circumstances do shape your personality, and if you want to be a more outgoing person, you can probably practice to be a more outgoing person. I kind of like liken it to practicing a script, right? Of course, you don't want to be so rigid, but I think that you can, in a sense, practice being a bit more outgoing, like how to act around people, how to seem a bit like warmer, friendlier, how to engage people in conversation. And then I think naturally then you can trick people into thinking that you're a bit of like an extrovert because of like how you can, talk very easily with a lot of people lah. And I think I kind of like managed to trick myself a little bit like that, because when I was younger I was also really shy and really timid. And then it kind of matched my introverted behavior, right? Then I look at other people that are very outgoing, and I kind of went like, I kind of want to be like that guy, because that guy looks like he has a lot of friends, right? So then I started to think that, if I'm introverted and I let myself stay that way my whole life, then I'm probably not going to have a lot of friends lah, right? Or like I'm not going to meet new people and I'm not going to get new experiences. So I kind of like forced myself out of my shell a little bit, and it's uncomfortable, it's tiring, but I think you do manage to like discover new things about yourself first of all, and yeah lah, it's something that you can practice lah, and I think it's also something that you can lose practice with, right? Like you mentioned during COVID, and then after, I remember during that period when people talked about, finally I can meet people face to face again, then they forget how to interact with one another, and then they find like talking in person really awkward or strange because they haven't done it in a really long time. So,
oh my gosh, yeah. Then after that you get tired very fast.
Yeah. So I think this is definitely something that like you can train in people, but naturally, inherently, there will always be something like you'll swing to one side, whether like these things make you more tired or maybe you gain energy from them.
I think for me, right, being very extroverted also has a very big downside, which is I am terrible at being alone. It's damn stupid, but if I go 1 week, right, without meeting my friends,
you go crazy.
It's not that I go crazy, but it starts to affect me. Like, I'll be like, how come I got no friends? And I seriously think that it became a big problem for me. And I don't know whether I don't put it on being an extrovert, but I think it's just a me problem. But I really started to find like, where are all my friends? Why nobody like, how come I never meet anybody for 1 week? Then I'm like, alone. Why? So I think like, I think if the definition say, right, I get a lot of energy from being with other people. So being alone, right, really drains me and it makes me very, very sad. But at the same time, right, it's like part of life.
Yeah.
So I kind of have to learn to cope with it. Especially if things like going overseas by myself.
Yeah.
Like I always said, I would never go overseas by myself.
Have you gone overseas by yourself?
I
Like,
have.
ever?
I
Once.
went for exchange by myself in Korea.
Oh,
So for
okay.
5 weeks I was by myself. But I didn't enjoy my time, and I spent most of my time right with my phone talking to people like, hey, I'm here, or like having conversations with people on my phone. That means that I really have a problem being by myself. Like I cannot find satisfaction I cannot enjoy my own company, lor. If I sit by myself, I won't even I'm not self-conscious if I ever go out to like a nice dining place and then like, I sit and eat by myself. Like I'm not self-conscious. It's just that I would rather have somebody there to talk to me, and then like we can be like, oh, isn't this food like so nice? So I feel like is this type of reliance on other people, and then like ultimately, right, a lot of my happiness depends on like whether other people
seeing
are
other
free.
people, yeah.
Yeah, so I also find that it's very tiring. Yeah, it's very tiring, and sometimes I really find like this is like a problem that I have. I don't know whether this is like a problem that other extroverts have. You know, it's very stupid, right? No, not stupid. You know, it's very interesting because I actually have this Telegram group. So I went to poll. Do you remember? I went to poll in this Telegram group who identifies as an introvert and who identifies as an extrovert.
Yeah.
There are 19 people in the group. I think maybe about like 13 people responded. I was the only one who identified as an extrovert, which is damn ridiculous. It's damn ridiculous because my friend keep insisting, right? Okay, I did that because my friend who claims he's an introvert, he keep insisting that most people in this world are extroverts. And I said, 100% that is wrong. I was like, I promise you it's wrong. And so that's why I went to do the poll. And true enough, every single person said they're introvert. You know, I was like, seriously, every single one of you identify.
Maybe it depends on culture also lah. Like Asians versus like, I don't know, Angmos.
I don't know whether it depends on culture, but like, no, I mean, okay, but to have everybody identify as introvert, I still thought
it's quite.
It's like kind of weird. Then I go and send to my this friend, right? Then my this friend, he go and say like, maybe because you're extrovert, that's why you hang out with a lot of introvert friends.
But that doesn't really make sense, what?
Logic is this.
Then all the more you should be hanging out with extroverts.
That's what I say. Then I say like, then you're just finding excuses to justify that there are more extroverts in this world. But it's just the results say what the results say, ma. It's like that. So I truly do believe that there are more introverts. At least, okay, if you say culturally, then at least in Singapore, there are more introverts.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, quick thought, right? Since I talked about just now how I feel like I can kind of like train or delulu myself into being a bit more like extroverted, right? Do you think you can like practice becoming more introverted? Since you mentioned that you recognize that there are some like real problems to your mental health if you stay alone by yourself for too long, do you think like maybe you could try to develop yourself to become someone who's more comfortable like enjoying your alone time?
I'll give a very Christian answer for this, but I think the only way that I would enjoy being alone is really if I had like to talk to God or something. But otherwise, okay, I don't know how to put this.
So no matter what, you still need to talk to somebody.
Yeah, but I don't know how to put this. But when I'm alone, right, I realize this pattern. Okay, this is definitely not an extrovert thing.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of hurt and anger. I realize, right, that if I'm alone with my thoughts, I just tend to start thinking about it. So it becomes very unpleasant for me to be by myself. Which is damn ridiculous because I didn't even notice this until one day I was driving, right? I was really driving and then the music stopped playing. Then I noticed that my thoughts just became very, very, very negative. Then I was kind of like, where is this coming from? So I started to notice a little bit more about what are my thoughts when I'm alone. So I honestly don't know, right, if I had a more positive, if I had less anger. Okay, so I'm trying to fix this. I'm trying to fix this anger and hurt thing. But if I really didn't have this, right, what would my thoughts to myself be? Maybe my thoughts to myself would be more pleasant. But I realize a lot of times, right, so if I'm alone, I'm using a lot of, either I'm listening to podcasts, So I'm like listening to some crime podcast. I'm listening to music to like distract myself.
You. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just recently realized that about myself, you know, then I was like, oh my goodness, I'm really crazy. Yeah, so I don't know, again, like if you say whether I can train myself to enjoy my own company, I really would have to say maybe
a
if
bit
I,
of like getting over the trauma first lah. Then
yeah,
if you
maybe
can
if
heal
I
that
really
then.
pray about it lah, I guess, like I
Yeah.
really be like, okay, God, like, let me find some fulfillment in myself or something. I don't know, you know what I mean? But so this is some tea from my past, but like, so one of my boyfriends, right? I don't know whether he is considered an introvert, but we argued so much last time, right? Because I want to go out, I want to be with him, want to like, you know, go on dates and stuff. And he just wanted to go home and play games. He said, no, but then the thing is, okay, that time we were very young, but he said like, oh, you know, like I feel very tired, like go out the whole day, I feel very tired. So I just want to like go.
Wait, but he go home and play games means you are there with him in his house and he's playing games and or
we
like
were
just
way
like
too young for
go
that.
okay lah.
Like separate. So we argued so much over that, you know. And the thing is, at the end of the day, right, we couldn't compromise and we broke up over that twice. Over the exact same thing.
But so basically, bro wasn't very interested in dating lah. He just liked the idea of having a girlfriend, but
bro desperately wanted me back.
he liked the idea of having a girlfriend and he didn't want to put in the effort to invest in the relationship.
Yeah.
Like just like literally the bare minimum of a relationship of spending time with the person. He was like, nah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, but bro really wanted me back.
He just liked the idea of having a girlfriend lah. Like that, yeah. Young and foolish.
But I think like okay, so that's like relationship, right? So I tell you, even that I hated, right, that every time I had to initiate. Can we go out? Can we go out? Can we go out? Then he'll be like, I tired.
And go home play video games.
Yeah. So yeah. So I always say, like, in my current like marriage, right, my husband is, I don't know. He said, so he said he did the test and then he's like 1% off. So he's 50. My God, my maths. 51% introvert and 49% extrovert. So actually his is like borderline lah. They were just struggling. They were struggling to give him a number.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was just thinking that if both of us, right, were complete opposites,
yeah,
it would be super like tiring for both of us. Because can you imagine, like, if he every weekend, like, he want to stay at home, cause so like, okay, like we go to church, then like if people want to join us to eat, then he'd be like, oh, but don't really want to stay and talk, like, kind of thing, I want to go home, and then for me it's like, oh, every weekend, you know, usually every weekend I either have people come and like record podcasts, to them we will go and eat together, like go and have dinner, go and play mahjong, go and do something lah, some nonsense. If he were an introvert, right, I just cannot imagine how torturous that would be for him. It would be damn torturous. He'll be like, oh my God, not again.
Can my girlfriend stop bringing weird people into our house?
I seriously, then he'll be like, can you like just don't involve me?
Yeah.
And I feel like that is not a type of relationship that I would want, because I always like that my partner is very involved in my social circle as well, and like can integrate in my friends, and then it's like, okay, now we can do things together. So like even now, right, I go and plan holidays. So I'm going a few holidays with my friends. And then I just like, okay, one of them, I didn't ask him. I just informed him that I had already paid.
Yeah.
So we are going with my friend. Okay, that was a special case. I'll not go into it, but that was a special case. But it's like, can you imagine? I really cannot imagine, right, if he's really very introverted, right, and then he'll just be suffering, or I will just be suffering. Extrovert people usually are the joers.
Yeah.
And I think, right, that a lot of a lot of introvert people expect that their more extrovert friends will always be the one to set up set up activities, like be the one, hey guys, let's catch up,
plan outings lah.
Dinner and everything. And I just say on behalf of all the extroverts out there, right, we do not enjoy it. I enjoy being with you, I don't enjoy the planning. And I feel like for me, it's more than just not enjoying the planning, because I don't mind being the one like choosing. But it's just the thought that I'm the only one thinking of you.
Yeah.
You're not thinking of, my friends are not thinking about hanging out with me at all.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of times for me, I get very burnt out from asking my friends out. And I get very tired. After a while, I really stop trying.
Yeah.
And then that's where I see a lot of like end up my friendships just like slowly like and then you get into this low maintenance friendship bullshit. Okay, hot take. I really don't believe in low maintenance friendships. I really don't believe in that. I think it's just laziness on both parties.
Yeah.
I mean, I get how it ends up in that state. Yes, people are very busy with life, but really, if they're really important and they're really your friend, you can afford to meet them more than like once every 2 years, man. I really don't believe in that. Yeah, so as like PSA, please show us out more often. We would really, I mean, I feel like especially for my case, right, I don't mind being the one to ask, to organize or to ask more. But it's really the case when it's never reciprocated, that you get very tired. But then again, I would say it's like about managing the expectations of how often other people like to meet you as well. Because they are like you say, everybody got a different number of friend groups, right? So if you're an introvert, then you like literally like one group per week, right? By the time come back to you, so one full calendar,
been,
you
like 6 months.
6 months. You need to be like, I think it's also, so in that case, it's like also managing expectations. It's just that a lot of people will not say it.
Yep.
Yeah, so actually just now you were saying, right, like, I don't know if you want to put that in, about your girlfriend also, his girlfriend's friend group, one of the girls said very honestly to just make an effort to initiate.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree in the sense that I feel like throwing each other out is definitely not like a introvert extrovert kind of thing. On the one hand, yes, maybe the extrovert has a bit more energy, so they would initiate more often. But I think it's just like generally being responsible to your friends. Like, dude, if you care about them and like you genuinely enjoy their company and you want to meet them, then you gotta show it lah, and you show it by like actually asking them out, right? Dude, if like you guys don't think about each other or care about each other enough to have met within like 2 years, then can you really consider each other friends? Like, I don't think so lah.
Yeah.
That being said, I'd like to apologize for all the people that I have not met in more than 2 years. I don't think it's because I don't think about you guys, but it's more of I'm just a bad friend. So I'll work on that. I'll work on that. Yeah.
Okay, and with that, we will end this episode with Ned's apology.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you my friends soon.
How many people in Singapore, right, actually your family is like your primary source of unhappiness in life?
Right, okay, yeah.